am teaching drum at this time, so I don't come very often. So I would just wanted to kind of get to know you guys really quick. Maybe we could just go around the room and your name and like how many times have you been here? Is it your first? Some phases are completely new. And then the question is, so today we're going to talk about Dharma, but if you could just come up with one Sanskrit word that you've heard of, I mean, in popular culture, in common, it's like there's many commonplace Sanskrit words. So, like it'll be like, hi, my name's Natabar. This is my second time coming here. And Dharma is a Sanskrit, that I know of, is a Sanskrit word that people use. And if you can't think of one, don't worry, I have a big list. But yeah, that's the challenge. Maybe Nityananda, maybe you should go last because you know more Sanskrit words. Maybe we start from this side, clockwise.
My name's Elias. I've come here many times. First in summer of 2023.
I recognize you.
Yeah, this is my favorite. I remember you and I remember your joke. One of my favorite Sanskrit words is Ananda.
Ananda, what does that mean?
Bliss.
Bliss. Okay, wow. People don't, it's not a common one in pop culture, but it is one of my favorite words. That's a good one. And either you or in the back, either one. Ken.
About 6 months.
6 months, okay, nice.
And on Sundays, and I'm not great at Sanskrit, so I'm going to have to pass on that one.
Okay. Any Sanskrit word that like, well, anyways, we'll go through and see if we can, how many we can get. Yes?
Hi, my name is Rolanda. I've been coming this is my third time.
Okay, nice. Okay, Bhakti. Nice. What does Bhakti mean?
Devotion.
Devotion. Nice.
Christina, I've been coming here about a year, many times, and I will go with asana.
Asana.
Yeah, it's a big one. Yeah.
Posture.
Asana. Asana.
Yeah.
I think it's an ostrich.
Posture. I have bad posture right now. Let's see if I can. Yeah, everyone can make it a good, nice asana. Okay, yes?
My name is Bashir. This is my third time coming.
Okay.
If it is a word, I'd say karma.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Everyone's raise your hand if you heard of the word karma. Right? I mean, everyone's heard it. I mean, you don't have to necessarily know exactly what it means, but you pretty much, what goes around comes around. Yeah. Okay. Keep going clockwise.
My name is
Javier.
Javier. And then come many times. I don't know how to count. And my favorite word is Krishna.
Krishna. What does Krishna mean?
All attractive.
All attractive. Nice. Krishna. I think Krishna's.
Like
it used to be a household name, a household word, and I think it's coming back. Hopefully, it comes back. Yeah, on the rebound. Okay, yes. Your name, like what time, it's your first time here, and then any Sanskrit word you have heard of. Yeah. Okay, nice to meet you. Okay, nice. What's your mother language? No, Nepali. Okay, so you must know so many Sanskrit words. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. Yes?
My name is Sandy. Been coming here for like maybe half a year. And I would say my favorite word would be like namaste.
Namaste. And can you tell us what namaste means? Or
When somebody greets to you or when they bow to you.
yeah, it's a greeting. Yes.
I'm Thomas.
Hey, Tom.
8 times.
Oh.
Samsara.
Samsara. Okay. Well, you guys are pulling out some fancy. I have like a list of words that I think most people will know. But okay, that's okay. Samsara.
Result or impact of suffering.
Result or impact of suffering. Nice. Okay.
My name is Chimin. I've been coming to this particular room since last January, but I've been coming to this temple since the 90s.
Nice.
There's so many Sanskrit words I love. I can't even think of Chintamani for some reason.
Oh, Chintamani. Yeah, that's a good one. What does that mean?
It's just really attractive to me.
Chintamani. Mani means jewel, and chinta means like your consciousness, your mind.
Yeah.
And so it's said to be like a jewel that whatever you think of, you can just like generate from that. Or most people use it. Yeah, they like touch something and it becomes gold. That's what, because generally people want.
Whenever I
But Chinta is like, you would think philosophy, so it's the same even.
Yeah. Philosopher's Stone. Yeah, it's true. J.K. Rowling stole
whenever
that
I
from
have
Sanskrit.
Bhajans, especially from like Bengali
Yeah.
bhajans.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like each word's like a jewel.
Yeah, like that's why I like to go through this, because Sanskrit is this amazing language where each word is like a fractal, and it contains the entire Vedic culture practically if you keep diving deep on it. Like there's this one speaker who began to speak on this one song that's 8 verses long, but then they took 3 days just on the first word. And so it's something that you could, if you really wanted to, you could just keep doing that, because it is like, it's kind of like a fractal. It's all, each word is kind of containing the culture. Yes.
Louis, I'm here for a year often.
Probably longer than that.
You have.
Yeah.
And a word I like in Sanskrit is lila.
Lila. What is lila?
Pastimes or divine play.
Pastimes. Yeah, that's a nice one. Yes?
My name is Zufar. This is actually my very first time here.
Oh, welcome, Zufar.
Taking it all in.
Cool.
Sanskrit, I think, because Indonesian has a lot of Sanskrit, I think Jiva, or I think maybe Jiva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Azim. What is jiva?
The soul.
The soul. Okay,
All
nice.
our souls are in German.
Yeah. Yes?
I'm Kai.
Hi, Kai.
I've been here a handful of times.
Nice.
And Sanskrit word, Sangha,
Sangha. What is Sangha?
community.
Nice. Yeah, Sangha is really important. We'll talk a little bit about that. Sangha is, all these words are in some way related to Dharma. And in the back, yes?
Hi, I'm Mayorka.
Hi.
My first appearance was July 2024.
Oh.
There's so many Sanskrit words, but I've been concentrating more so on cities as of late. Innate power, and then also Atma, soul.
Okay, siddhis and Atma. Yes. Siddhis, perfections. You do something, you want to get it to perfection. Okay.
Nityananda Chandra, it's my first time here.
Nityananda Chandra's first time. Okay, everyone, welcome Nityananda Chandra here. Probably doesn't know.
A common word, pundit, that's a common word.
Yeah, so pundit, what is pundit? Everyone,
That's Sanskrit.
yeah, so literally, I mean, I have a list of words that we only got 2 of them
I kind of want to hear now.
that I was like surprised that none of y'all really said them. Anyways, maybe I'm not surprised, but so someone said karma, and he said pundit, like, you know, like the business pundit, Wall Street pundit. They have like, there's someone that just knows about stuff and can talk about it. You know, the football pundit, something like that. Guru, yeah, that's like, you know, so many different gurus. Mantra, their mantra for success.
There's also Jagannath.
Jagannath, yeah, Juggernaut. Juggernaut is it's from Jagannath,
Yeah, I know the word.
unstoppable force.
No, when they saw Jagannath, British coined that term.
Huge.
Yeah.
Juggernaut.
There they saw the Rath Yatra.
Then we have chakra.
Oh.
Chakra.
Everyone, I mean,
Yeah.
your chakras.
Chakras.
Yeah, your chakras. We gotta. Anyways, that's a part of Vedic culture. Subtle body. Yoga. I mean, someone said asana, which is, yoga is also very deep. Each of these words are very deep. Avatar, the movie and every, or whatever the show. So, anyways, I like Sanskrit a lot because, like I said, it's a beautiful language where each word is like a fractal that contains everything else. But today, if you read Nityananda Chandra's nice advertisement, we're going to be unpacking the word Dharma, which I guess I could, somehow tie Dharma into all those other topics, and maybe we will a little bit this evening. But does everyone know what Dharma means? Or does anyone want to step out on the limb and just try to define what Dharma is? Yeah, I like, because I like to be more interactive. I don't want to just be like blah 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 blah. I mean, I could, but it's more fun. It'll keep me on my toes a little better.
I feel like I've heard it in the context of like.
Your name is Kalesh? Zufar from Indonesia, huh?
Yes. Well, yeah, my family's from Indonesia.
Nice. Okay.
I think I've heard it in the context where it's like duty or like correct way of. I don't know.
Oh, no, that's good. That's good. Yeah, okay. Duty, correct way of being. Let's get some more.
Isn't it like good nature?
Good nature. Nature. I like it.
Prescribed duty?
Prescribed duty. Someone else raise their hand?
Maybe to act based on our true nature.
To act based on our true nature. Essence. Okay.
The word that came to mind was
Purpose.
purpose.
I think these are all. Transformation. Okay. The Dharma can transform you, definitely. These are all like, in the Sanskrit dictionary, it's like kind of like they'll have the word, and then when they define it, they'll just say a bunch of other words. That's how they define it. And so that's when you learn Sanskrit, I haven't learned Sanskrit. I just know people that have, and they explain like this. Like you basically just memorize like this has like, it's just like a shotgun blast that's trying to get you the meaning, because yeah, it's basically like a thesaurus, which once you start learning it more and more, then it becomes very, like Sanskrit scholars, they memorize it's called a kosha, or they translate it as dictionary, but I guess, yeah, technically it's more like a thesaurus. And it's kind of this shotgun blast trying to get you the idea of what this word actually is. And because if you're trying to translate something, usually English won't have, or another language might not necessarily have the depth that a word is specifically trying to get at, or the varied meanings that it could use. And so duty, I have here, generally when we speak in just like one word things, religion, duty, nature, this is Dharma. In Sanskrit, all the words are basically broken down into roots. And so Dharma, its root is dra, the dra root, which has, it means what upholds or supports, or that which upholds or supports. So Dharma is that which upholds or supports individually, all of you, or collectively, all of us as a society, or that's which supports the entire, cosmic manifestation, the entire universe. So that's one meaning of Dharma. So if you're doing Dharma, then it's something that will support yourself, and vice versa. If you're doing something that's unsupportive of yourself, that would be adharma. When you add it just makes it opposite. So the opposite of that. Also, like righteous conduct. Yes.
I'm hearing that like it's a word that is supposed to help you, give you a guide to show you, right? How to perform. But it's also a Sanskrit word, so it's spiritual in a sense, right? It has to do with the soul. And
yeah, it has to do. There can be many different levels of Dharma, and we'll look at that a little. Yeah.
I think that a good definition for the word would be instruction, because it's being told to you by God.
There's in the Amar Kosh, which is the main dictionary, there's 4 like definitions, basically 4 synonyms. And the first one, I don't remember the Sanskrit, but the first one is that which upholds or supports the individual, the collective, or the universe. Righteous conduct, that would be sadachar, is another definition. That which is not to be transgressed. And then kind of what you're saying, the fourth definition would be like according to the prescription of the Vedas, basically. So there's like a prescribed thing that you can do that can help you be able to follow your dharma, which if you do that, then it helps to support you, and if you transgress that, then it's not going to support you. So it's kind of like, that's basically narrowing it down. So basically the point of learning about dharma then, we can learn how to sustain ourselves. We can learn how to sustain ourselves in a way that's harmonious with all others. And it's said that dharma is excellence in its beginning, in its middle, and its end. So like in the beginning, we can learn how to think optimally. We can have in the middle, we can make, with the proper thinking, we can then make the optimal choices. And of course, then with making, if you just make the best choices always, then you're going to have the best outcome. And so it's said that those who uphold dharma or protect dharma, that they're upheld or protected by dharma. So let's, I guess, unpack some of these facets of dharma so we can kind of grab onto this. When we talk about dharma and we talk about the thing that sustains us, the thing that upholds us, then necessarily we're speaking about existence. And when we speak about existence, even the word just speak, then we have to talk about the different, what are they called? Different articles of speech. Like basically in English, it's like you have like basically 8 categories of words that you can use in speech. So does anyone know anything in English grammar that they can tell me a word? Nouns. Okay, so we got nouns. And you said verbs. Adverbs. Adjectives. Like yeah, articles, which I mean prepositions. And then what goes with nouns? What's an abbreviation of a noun or like a pronouns? Professional. And okay, we have if you have combining 2 things together. Conjunctions. And then so that's 7. You're missing one more, which if something's just like blurted out, wow. Yeah, interjections. So we have these 8 things of speech which are talking about our existence. And in Dharma, I want to focus on kind of the 4 pillars of our existence, or we divide our existence into 4 domains. And the way we speak about existence, like the way we speak about anything, I mean, when you're speaking about existence, I would posit. That you use these different things. So nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, and I combine them all because they each go into each category of existence. So we have these 4 domains of experience. Your being is just expressed by your nouns. How you differentiate something. Something's small, something's big, something's black, something's white. Or if it's like a verb, fast, slow. Relating, you want to try to express the truth of something, you need to have prepositions or multiple things or some sort of logic. You need conjunctions also. And then if you're doing something, then you have your verbs, and then of course interjection is almost like you're just trying to express yourself, doing expression basically. So so these nicely break down to that, and we want to basically go with these 4 pillars of existence: being, differentiating, relating, and doing, and apply them to Dharma, which means like each of these things in their most exalted state. So, well, like we said, Dharma is that thing which upholds us. It's that righteous activity that which should not be transgressed, And if we take each of these domains and try to apply like what is like excellence or what is like exaltation in each of these domains, then we can kind of center on what is actual Dharma and the pillars of Dharma. So these are our experience, and these experience in their exaltation, that's where Dharma is. So we first look at being. So basically, if we're excellent and related to what is, and we can see things clearly for what they are, and we just live with things with the way they actually are, we don't close ourselves off to the truth, that's the best way to be. You know, nouns and pronouns just express like the basic reality of what it is. You know, this is a person. That's a glass of water. But if you mistake the person for a glass of water, or you mistake the glass of water for a person, then obviously there's going to be a problem. In Sanskrit, there's another word called tattva, which kind of means thisness, and it's just expressing like, there's just certain different tattvas, like you're saying jiva. There's like a jiva tattva, or guru tattva, or Krishna tattva. And if someone wants to explain what something is, they'll explain the tattva of that thing. And so,
the Yoga Sutras, they talk about how the purified mind is like a crystal. So whatever you put it next to it, it shows it clearly.
Yeah.
And then Satyam is also, it says everything becomes clear. So you have a truthful vision of what reality is.
Yeah, that's one problem if we're conditioned that we try to see reality in a false way, or in the way that we want it to be, and we're not situated in actual truthfulness, then everything becomes hazy and confusing, and we kind of lose sight of everything. They say like satyam, which means truth, that like a sadhu, or like someone who said sangha, you said sangha. So we try to have sadhu sangha, or association with, in other words, mostly truthful people. The basic principle of a sadhu is their commitment to truth. Of course, on the other side, truth is not like the end all and be all. There's like higher truths and lower truths. For example, like there was a brahmana who is supposed to be someone that's committed to upholding Dharma, and someone was running away from someone else, and they took shelter in the brahmana's house. Hey, some people are chasing me, trying to kill me. Can I hide in your house? Please. He's like, okay, you can hide in my house. And then the people chasing him came. He's like, oh, brahmana, you're known never to tell a lie. Please, tell us, are you harboring this person that we're chasing? And then the brahmana, out of his kind of false pride of being a brahmana, said, yes, I can never tell a lie. He's in here. And then they go in and they kill the guy. So then obviously, okay, so is that brahmana right? Is he within Dharma, or is he within adharma? I mean, it's a pretty easy answer. It's a paradox, not a paradox. He's hypocritical, because the higher truth is, like having that guy stay alive is more important than telling a lie or telling the truth. Like that's the truth. That's the ultimate truth. And in the smaller truth, it shouldn't get in the way of that. So I heard a nice statement that truth constitutes authority. Authority does not constitute truth. And that, it's like that statement just really, really helped me. Who likes that statement? There was another like funny thing talking about, I think it was in like the Soviet government time. It was like this thing is like, they're lying, and we know that they're lying, and they know that we know that they're lying, but still they're lying. And so
brag about it too.
Yeah.
The newspaper was called Pravda, which means truth.
Yeah, exactly. And so truth is like it's so easy just to make a lie and get ahead. Like it's very easy to compromise. Like today, there's so much different fake news or AI generated content or clickbait stuff or view farming. There's so many different things that's just trying to tell a lie to people. Like even recently, what did I try to get? I tried to get some medicine from India on eBay, and it was like months and months. Normally it takes a couple weeks, maybe a month for something to ship from India. It's not like 2 days like Amazon is here. But I noticed after 3 or 4 months it wasn't shipping, and then I finally checked, and there was an account that had like 0 positive remarks and like all negative, and I realized, oh, I've been cheated. Like this person just put a post up saying they'll sell this thing for $20, and then they just take the money, and then they don't care about their account. It was a dummy account. It said that you should never trust a politician because they'll say whatever they have to say to be able to get into office, and then once they're in the office, they'll just do whatever they want. Especially with like democracy, it's almost geared towards, well, if I know that I'm not getting elected again, then I can just do whatever I want. Whereas if someone's knows that they're going to be held to the fire of public opinion and have to keep everyone satisfied for a lot longer of a time, it's better. So in Vedic times, I guess it didn't work out in the 1700s and 1800s, but in Vedic times, the more prosperous form of government was supposed to be a king that was then ruling over, because even though that technically has control, he's trying to, I guess it would be benevolent monarchy, not like you kind of got the benevolent monarchy went over when Marie Antoinette let them eat. All the peasants ran out of bread. Oh, they ran out of bread, then let them eat cake. So like that kind of care is not good. But
I heard that was a fake news actually.
It could have been a fake news.
Was a defamation by her.
It was good fake news. It was a good one. If I was a peasant and I wanted to uprise against the king, I would make stuff up like that for sure.
Real quick.
Yeah.
In regards to truth, you mentioned democracy. Democracy is a tool.
Yeah.
If you wanted to get specific as to, us being here in the United States, it's actually a republic. And the reason why sorts of malicious individuals get into office is due to a background oligarchy, but it's the people that are supposed to hold those public servants to what their truth was supposed to be. The truth is the people hold the ultimate power, and if we don't do our job, then the doing and the differentiating and relating can be, depends on who writes the biggest checks.
Yeah, that's a good point. That, like, I mean, in democracy, or I guess in our republic, there's an ideal of how it should work, and then it's being gamed or taken advantage of by oligarchy, by just people that can write a bigger check, that can get bigger money, that can do things like that. And actually, there is many benefits from our form of government compared to others. But the main thing with truth is also, in terms of our own self, if we apply it to, like cows, they can give milk, birds can fly, cats can catch mice. So we should try to understand what is my faculty, what can I actually do, what can I contribute in the situation. I think the modern education is just pushing people towards trying to fit one kind of mold, where actually if it was just looking, what are the strengths of this person and how do we do it? Like if you tell a fish to jump into a tree and try to climb, it's going to suck. And if you tell a bear, or I don't know, bears are probably good at swimming. It's not good. You tell a bear to climb, it's going to climb a lot better than the fish. You tell the fish to swim against the bear, it's going to beat the bear every time. Unless I guess the bear's going to eat it. But the point is that you find what factually is the situation that you need to do, and you do, according to your strengths. You don't play according to your weaknesses. Oh yes.
When you mentioned the animals, there was a quote that said, if you judge if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, you'll never really have a good environment. It's something in that capacity.
Yeah, like we should be seen for what our actual strengths are and not judge. Like some people won't do good on tests, won't do good on all these different things, and the way the modern school does. But they will be very valuable and very, have something that they can actually contribute. And if they do that, they'll actually feel uplifted. And so if if society at large and people individually are committed more to the truth of that, everything will be upheld, everything will be better. You know, like people are so intent on these like false masks. You know, I guess I always think of the movie American Psycho, which is kind of like a parody of like how people are just so fake. I don't know, has anyone seen that movie? Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's a really hilarious take on society, just taking it to like, especially in New York, where it's like everyone, they go to this scene where there's everyone showing their business card and they all look exactly the same, but still like some guy feels so jealous because somehow the other one is just that much a little better. And so we have this thing, like it's now today, like everyone has their picture of themselves. It's not themselves, but it's like the picture that they want everyone to see. Like, here's my social media, and here's my girlfriend, here's my boyfriend, here's my luxuriant vacation, here's like this delicious thing that I'm eating. And it's almost like people, like, they're so busy like taking the photo and like trying to get the pose and do all these things that they actually don't even really enjoy what they could be enjoying. And like Prahlad Maharaj, someone that we may hear about if you guys come around here long enough, he's saying actually one of the greatest material happinesses is just knowing that someone's a little jealous of you. Like not actually being better than someone, not actually, but just that someone thinks that you're better than them. So that's excellence in the domain of being would be just acting towards truth. And like Nityananda Chandra was saying, like in the Yoga Sutras, when you act like that, I guess when they say when you never actually speak any lies, when you actually are true to existence, then existence is revealed to you. And you also, you can see through lies, and you can see through things, you can see things just as they are. Like, when they say it's like a web of lies, you tell one lie. Like, I'll tell a story. When I was really young, I was at my friend's house, and his mom left money for their older sister to go to the store, to go to the movies. And okay, everyone can guess what I did, right? I took the money. And then, they're asking like, oh, who took the money? And I didn't take it. And then I like, later I went to the dentist with my brother, and I showed him, hey, look at all this money I got. I'm like, what? How did you get that money? You can't have that money. And they're like, Mom, look, he has so much money. I was like, no. And then of course, like, the mom called my mom and, hey, did so-and-so did Natabar did he have like find extra money or something? And then I had, it's like you like have to like how much do they know? What do I have to lie, to like get out of this one? And it's like, it becomes this whole like web, and then they easily see like, oh no, he's like totally lying to us. He has to go there and apologize, give back the money. And yeah, so that's like, if you get caught in a web of lies, it just becomes deeper and deeper to try to get out of it. And it's very much, your brain is just straining and straining. Like our spiritual master Prabhupada of this movement, he like slept for like 2 or 3 hours a night, but was maintaining a whole worldwide movement, translating Sanskrit into English and translating all these books, giving all kinds of classes, traveling all the time. And but he didn't have to use very much energy to think, because he was just situated in the truth. So you didn't have to think about all these lies and all these stories and all these different things. Just present things as they are. It's simple and easy. So then we're going to go around the corner to differentiating. And so we've got truth. So that's one pillar of Dharma, is truth, satyam. And I'm wondering how I should do this. Does anyone know any other pillars of Dharma? Huh? Wait. Okay, Connor. Mercy. Daya is. It is and it isn't. I'm gonna say it's not. That's not a direct one, but we'll talk about that. Balance.
It's go macro. I was thinking like loving kindness. Is that right?
Mercy, love, and kindness. These go together nicely, but it's not exactly the word that I was thinking of. Grace and mercy. Well, I'll give the three. The 4 pillars of Dharma are satyam, which is truth, socham, or purity. Then you have ahimsa, which is non-violence, and you have tapa, which is like discipline. So truth goes with being, and each of these are like the pillars of Dharma, are these one of these domains in its par excellence. So what do we think differentiating, which pillar would go under differentiating? You want me to list them again?
Yeah, what are they?
Ahimsa, which means nonviolence, socham, which means purity, and tapas, which means discipline. Purity, differentiating. You want to elaborate on your thoughts? I agree, it is.
Removing the impurities from whatever it is you're trying to purify, and then you have to differentiate that from the other.
Yeah, what's dirty and what's clean, and like I gave you like brown muddy water and a nice bottle of Evian. Is it, you thirsty?
Get the Avon.
Yeah. You have to know, yeah.
Subway water.
Subway water, yeah.
What is subway water?
You can
Bro.
flowing in the tracks.
I've never said that. I've never said that.
It's like the,
So it's said that our thoughts and our words and our actions and everything that we do, they spring from our state of being. So one idea of Dharma is that we should raise our state of being, or our consciousness, like the whole idea where this is a Krishna consciousness center, that we want to raise our consciousness. And so in our domain of differentiating, we have to have the ability to distinguish, okay, what is going to uplift my consciousness and what is going to degrade my consciousness? Okay, so do I want to go like, you know, do I want to go to the kirtan, or do I want to go to the chicken fight? Something like that. I don't know. Yeah, the dog. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just making something up. And yeah, you know. So yeah, we have to recognize what is going to uplift us. You know, what is going to make our condition flourish, what is going to uphold us, and then avoid those things which don't. So, which like cleanliness is a part of, is like, you know, just, you know, when you wake up, take a shower. You know, if you have dirty clothes and they smell bad, put them in the wash. Simple things like that. But in general, it's more like internal. Like those things are necessary, but they're just a basis. And our internal cleanliness, you know, what's the state of our thoughts? You know, they say where the mind goes, and you don't know how to finish the sentence?
energy flows.
Energy flows. Wow, wonderful. Yeah, where the mind goes, energy flows. So if we absorb in the bad quality of things, if we like get absorbed in criticizing others, and just seeing, like, you know, thinking about meditating on all the wrong things that they're doing, that will end up basically pulling those qualities into us, and will basically bring those bad qualities upon us. Whereas on the other hand, if we just focus on the good qualities of others and all the good things that they've done, and appreciate them kind of for who they actually are, and kind of try to differentiate and see that and put our energy more towards that, then it's the opposite effect. Like the Native American story of the two wolves in everyone's heart. You've got a good wolf and a bad wolf, and they're all fighting constantly. And the question is, who is the one that wins? That's, yeah, perfect. The one that you feed.
So you say we do that even when we're being confronted. We think the same way. We still try to find goodness in that.
There's different dharmas, and certainly if someone's attacking us, we have just to see the truth of the reality that we have to defend ourselves sometimes. But I'm talking more of like subtle things, like you know, just street gossip. People always talking bad about everyone. I mean, there's one thing of calling a thief, and calling the cops and getting them to get taken care of, and there's another thing, just like, you know, constantly thinking about some insult someone made a long time ago, or constantly meditating on someone's bad qualities. I mean, like they say, like chicken, we want to be like chickens, because chickens can go to a pile of garbage and they can pick out even a good thing. So it said the best kind of people they can see good qualities even in people that barely have any good qualities. And then as you go down and down, the kind of worst kind of people is they'll see someone that has only practically all good qualities, and they'll like pick out even one little bad quality. Like they say, bees will go to honey, but flies will go to garbage. Yeah, yeah. So, so we want to absorb ourselves more in good qualities. But like, if we're actually confronted with things, I mean, there's the whole. We're talking about Dharma, so the whole Mahabharata, which is a gigantic book. I think it's like 19 volumes in English translation. It's like a whole book just about the intricacies of Dharma. And Dharma is not so simple, but there's definitely, it's if someone's attacking you, defend yourself. That's a basic point, definitely. And but the main point is like in our consciousness, how are we going to uplift our consciousness outside of that? Like, there's a Maslow's hierarchy. You definitely need your own space. You need your food. You need friends. You need, as it goes up. Everyone knows what Maslow's hierarchy is of needs. Yeah, basically it's like, what is your base needs? You need air, and then you need water, then you need some food, then you need shelter, then you need, I guess social needs fulfilled via friends and family and things like that nature. Then you need higher things like maybe like connection, entertainment, purpose, love, self-realization, self-actualization, reaching your goals. So it's this whole hierarchy. So how do we raise higher and higher? When we're in the higher stages, how do we stay there? And it's said that you can tell your future with this one simple trick. It's like a clickbait title. You just look at who are the 5 people you're spending the most time with. And everyone, we're talking about purity, we're talking about differentiating. Everyone has an effect on us, no matter if we spend 2 seconds with them or we spend 2 days or 2 years. So you can simply just look, what kind of people am I spending my time with? And then you can just extrapolate. That's how I'm going to become. That's what's affecting me, and so that's what I'm going to become. You may be more resilient, you may be less resilient, but that's just how it works. They say birds of a feather flock together, or man can be known by the company he keeps. So therefore, in the domain of differentiating, we should try to associate with pure people. Eat pure things, think pure thoughts, ingest pure ideas, like everything that we're getting on social media or movies or whatever kind of thing. It's all going inside of us, and it's affecting us. And thus, like they say, if you have a mixture of nectar and poison, the best way to get rid of the poison is just to keep pouring in the nectar. So if we just keep ingesting the good things, like you have a bunch of friends, and maybe half your friends are like they're not really where you want to be in 5 years, and the other half are. Well, maybe instead of just getting rid of your friends, you just start making more friends about where you want to be, and then all of a sudden, you're not spending time with the ones that aren't going to take you where you want to go. And so like that. So now we've gone through satyam, truthfulness. We've gone through socham, purity. And we have relating and doing that are left. And so now we're going to go to, it's basically going to be like a clock. Relating. And we have discipline and nonviolence. So what do we think is in the domain of relating? We have a nonviolence and we have a discipline. Actually, in some ways, all these are very intricately related. And I am like pigeonholing, or what's the other one? Shoehorning these into these categories. And it fits kind of nicely, but
Yeah, I was struggling with truth and purity. They feel like they're kind of meshing together in my head.
Yeah, these are all very, very closely related. Even if we go, I don't want to. I mean, I guess I can. Like they're all interrelated together within Dharma, and they're all like. If you're doing good in one, it's automatically going to affect the things in others, and if you're doing, they're all inextricably interwoven. So okay, now we've gotten to nonviolence. I'll just for the sake of so nonviolence in relating. So what's the best form of relating to everyone? Love and what? Lovingly. I loved it. Yeah, that was good. I love and respect. Right? Like if you at least if you don't love someone, at least if you respect them. Like in New York, people as soon as like they're feeling disrespected, they'll definitely let you know. Like I learned that the hard way like 10 years ago. You know.
I think the hard one is if you love someone and they're doing something that's not good for them, to not respect them and still kind of. I think that's a tricky one, right?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. If you love someone and they're doing something that's harming to themselves, then it's called tough love. You know, that's a very hard thing to do because okay, I don't want to hurt this person, but I need to be firm so that they stop like hurting themselves or they do actually good. Yeah, that's definitely like here's a great example that happens in the streets of New York. Okay, who has ever seen a beggar asking for money in New York City? You've never seen? Okay, I mean, I hope pretty much everyone, right? Who's ever seen a beggar anywhere?
Who has been a beggar?
Who has been a beggar? Who's ever seen a beggar? So we all know it's if you've been a beggar, it's very awkward to ask people for money, and if you're on the other side of being begged, it's very awkward to be asked for money. So it was a very awkward situation. But there's always like kind of a special interaction that happens, because a lot of times beggars are not exact. Like some of them can be kind of very, I don't know, I guess low consciousness and just very on the low end of the spectrum of that hierarchy, and they just really just have some need and they're not able to think clearly. But some are like, some of you'd be surprised how conscious and aware and astute they are of the situation. And there's always this special interaction. If someone's coming up and you're asking for money and you just ignore them, then like that's going to close your heart off. You're going to feel bad. They might also get like extra upset. Has anyone come up, has had a beggar like ask them for money and they just ignored them?
Yeah, every time.
How does it feel?
Terrible.
It sucks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then you're thinking like we talked about this hard, tough love. Like, if I give them money, are they just going to go get another bottle? Are they going to get something worse?
Yes.
I don't like. I want to help them, but I know that I'm pretty sure if I give them money, I don't want to spend the time with them to like make sure that they spend it right. I have to get out of here, and I want to help them, but I don't just want to give them money, because I think maybe they'll do something even worse with it. And that's what they say. Like there's different levels of charity, and if you have to give charity to the right place at the right time to the right person. And so yes.
Do you feel that? What's your thought on judging what someone's going to do with the gift that you give them? Because for me, I'm presented with an opportunity to be charitable.
Yeah,
Not
no.
judge what someone's going to do, but like
I would say it's a beautiful opportunity, and oh sure.
So at what point do we say, hey, your life is your life? Like I was presented with a chance to be charitable. I don't know what you're going to do because I remember riding the subway with my uncle. Somebody asked me and I gave him $3. I said, here goes my last $3. I was like 15 or 16. And my uncle said, you're just going to buy a bottle of alcohol anyway. To which in my head I was like, you alcoholic? That's all you do with your money too.
Yeah.
So
that's a great question.
Like, hey, I've been presented with opportunity to express love unconditionally.
And your heart felt good, right? Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing. We don't want to close ourselves off, but we also don't want to hurt that other person, because what if they end up hurting themselves? How many people have got a donation and then had an overdose? Because that also would, so I don't think we have to. Sometimes you can tell, but you don't necessarily have to judge. I mean, you can judge in the situation. Does this person? But what if they're saying they want food, and you say, okay, let's go get some food together. I'll sit with you and get you some food, or I have some food. I'm going to give it to you. Then sometimes you can see a change in attitude that maybe they were just trying to just say, oh, I want food and I want money, but then they're lying to you and they want this. But if they really want food and you give them food, then they're happy. Like as we're devotees, we go in the street. I don't know if you've seen us in the subway or in the parks and things like that. So we're always, encountering people that are looking for something. So I always keep some food. So you want food? Okay, here's some water. Here's a cookie. This is what I got. I mean, I don't have any money to give you, but if you need food, this is. And sometimes they're very appreciative, and it's like a really wonderful interaction. And sometimes they instantly something changes, and they like, oh, they they didn't go for my scheme, and they get very angry and they get upset. No, just give me money, give me money. And then at that point, I don't necessarily feel so bad saying sorry. I offered what I could. So we should always, yeah, when the opportunity to give arises, we should try to take that as much as we can. And you're definitely right. Like your uncle or whoever we were talking about, like, you know, that's not always the nicest consciousness. Our guru of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he would instruct his disciples that if someone's coming to ask for money, you should just give, and not think that you're like above giving simple charity. Otherwise, your heart will close off. So, yeah, we should. I mean, as the Hare Krishnas, sometimes this one devotee, Vaisheshika Prabhu, he says we want to be known as givers. We don't want to be known as something that's taken. And so, yeah, in this relating with others in the most nonviolent way, we want to try to just be giving something and uplift them. You know, sometimes people say, "Oh, you got any change?" Like, well, I have something that could change your life. Is that the change that you want? I don't think a couple of quarters is really going to change your life, but this really could. And actually, it's okay for some people to make a profession of begging. You know, everyone has sometimes in their life, some time when they're down. You know, especially like I see this guy in Times Square a lot. He had some terrible fire accident. He basically doesn't have face. He doesn't have arms. You know, he's just kind of walking around. He just has a sign like, I got no face, I got no arms, I can't work, I can't do anything, please help me. Like that, you know, someone that can't work, for them to beg their existence, that's almost the only thing they can do. And so that's good. But always someone that maybe they're just taking advantage, they live in New York, they know people are going to give enough and they want to live on that level of simplicity. It's not so good for them to live on that level. So it's better for them if they, you know, if they actually try to do something more productive, which if they can. I mean, if they can't, they can't. But love is about trying to find that, you know. So we're talking about relating to others in nonviolence. And you had a question?
No, I was just going to say, and touch on what you're saying. Most times when you have a beggar, I normally have a conversation with them, and that's a way of giving.
Yeah, that's really, because they're used to, no, get out of my face. And they're just begging people, and you know, I see them on the subway all the time. They try to ask every single person. It's very difficult to be in that situation, to be asked or to be asking. Both are.
Just want to just be seen. They want to be heard.
That's true a lot. Yeah.
They exist.
I get that.
Yeah. So you know, obviously, we're talking about relating. Every religion has do unto others. You know, that's like the golden rule. You know, in Christianity, as you know, as do unto others as ye would have them do unto you. I know that Islam and Judaism also have very similar statements. Buddhism has a similar statement. You know, there's a statement in the Mahabharata, ahimsa paro dharma, that in other words, doing, you know, the most ahimsa means non-violence. So basically, being, you know, doing something that's the most, that is the least violent activity that you can with someone. You know, they say also, like, especially when they're training us of how to like learn spiritual knowledge and disseminate spiritual knowledge, they say that if there's someone that's like ready to learn spiritual knowledge, but you don't teach them, then that's also a kind of way of like, it's like violence on their path. If you keep things on a mundane level and don't let it progress to the actual highest needs, because we have this whole hierarchy of needs. You know, when we do have food, when we do have shelter, when we do have companionship, when we do have love and all these things, if we don't actually go towards self-realization, it is also violence in a way. If we get, they said the duty of someone that's trying to, you know, preach the absolute truth is that they should give comfort to the people that are in distress, and they should make the people that are too comfortable, you know, get them out of that a little bit, you know, into their stress zone. You know, there's like a zone where you should be a little, you know, feel the flames a little bit under you, you know, not be too comfortable in what you're doing. And that way, it's like the best way to kind of relate with people. Does anyone have any final thoughts on that? Yes.
My first, I guess, realization with Dharma is what you're supposed to do while you're on this plane. So how does this look like individually? what is the process of
Yeah.
finding one's own dharma?
Yeah, defining one's own dharma. That's a very big question. Basically, we can study different kinds of dharmas. There's dharmas of what is our occupation, what is our relation with our family, what is our relation with our friends, like what age bracket are we? Are we in the end of life or in the beginning of life or in the middle? And according to so many different things, there's so many different layers and facets of our own specific dharma. But if we try to engage in everything according to these 4 pillars, it can kind of be like a guide to help us get there. It's said that also dharma is very difficult to perfectly ascertain, like you're asking. Like the whole Mahabharata, it has these so-called masters of dharma that even in some situations they're like not sure what to do. I'm sure.
The whole like, do you pull the lever? It's going to kill 5 people or 20. If you don't pull the lever,
Yeah,
that's Mahabharata.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's some situations that are very clear what is dharma in this situation, and there's some situations that are more hazy. But we can definitely have these pillars to actually guide us. Like, am I actually upholding to the truth of my situation? Do I without making a concrete example, it's hard to be too precise on it. It's kind of like it's very personal. I mean, like so for me, what is my dharma? I'm middle-aged. I'm a monk. That's my kind of occupation. And so should I? It's like 8 o'clock. After I'm done talking to you guys, should I just go to the bar and like talk to people? Like, no, that is probably not going to be my dharma. But for some people, that's just the routine that they've gotten. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe it's not the best way that they could be living. Maybe they could try to have more purity in life instead of going to the bar. Maybe they could come to the temple.
The reason why I asked that is
Yeah.
I'm actually going through that right now. I think there was another monk that visited, and he had the example of, you put a ladder on a building and you go up on top of that. You finish the ladder, you're on top of that building, but you realize you're on the wrong building. At what part or what point in our lives do we have to do a better introspection as to not waste any time and effort towards, our real purpose on this earth?
Well, we never know when our life is going to end, but there's all these needs that we have, like this Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But it's always the right time to focus for those eternal needs, those things that won't go away. If you get a house, like I remember the parents' house that we got, and then we moved away, and now it's not our house. That's temporary. That's not going to be there. If you make some friends, you can have friends for a long time. I've had a friend since I was 9 years old, and I have some friends. Like maybe some of you guys will be my friends. Will you guys be my friends? Okay, so I just met you today. I probably might not remember your name, but
Natabar is pretty good.
yeah. So like that. But friends only last so long. Some of you are older than me. I'm older than some of you. Who knows who's going to go first? Then that friendship will last. But there's one thing that in relation that will never be lost, and it'll continue on, and that's our eternal relationship with the eternal reality. In other words, our relationship with God. That's something we can always put juice into, put our energy into, and it won't fail us. It won't leave us. The other things, according to the time, place, and circumstance, we need to do our job. If we're younger, we need to maybe get an education or get a training. We have a vocation. We have our family duties. Like sometimes people, they may not want to be able to become a monk because they have duties to their parents. We have duties to our parents that they've spent all their energy raising us, and so we owe it to them to make sure that they also get taken care of. So I know many of my friends, they've I've known that's been the constant struggle. Okay, should I become a monk or should I go into the professional world and try to make money so I can take care of my parents? And each individual has kind of a different answer. But no matter whether we're being a monk inside a temple or something like that. I mean, I'm not saying everyone should do that. Most people probably won't. But even if we're out in the world doing whatever we're doing to reach those lower needs, we always should have some time to reach those higher needs. There should be something where we're reconnecting to our higher purpose, to the higher truths, and basically developing our self-realization, developing our love of God. That is the best way we can kind of relate with everyone.
So you're saying if we do that first, then it'll be a trickle down effect.
Yeah, it's like that's like our top priority. It's our topmost need, actually, whether we see it that way yet or not. It's the real thing that's going to stick with us. So, we always have to take care of our situation. If you get sick, go to the doctor or take whatever medicine that you know how to take. But your sickness is gonna one time go away, and you're gonna be, then you need to go back and do whatever things you need to do, and so on and so forth. But your relationship with the Supreme, that's always gonna be there. And if we neglect that, then at the end of our life, then that's gonna be a very, touchy situation.
It's got like a couple minutes left, so I don't know.
Okay, I can go fast through the next one. Yes, Elias.
I hope I can bring some clarity. I feel like our Dharma or our purpose isn't necessarily designed for us to know all at once. But I feel like all of these things that you're sharing with us are things that help us to be in a mode of discovering and resonating with our truth and our Dharma. And servicing or taking care of our higher desires is also helping us being in this mode of like living purposefully and truthfully. And we have our strengths, our inclinations, which I feel like are invitations to knowing ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what we're good at, that's like you said, what we put on this earth to do. Everyone is put on this earth to do something. And if we do that, we'll feel the most nourished, we'll feel the most supported. The last pillar of Dharma is tapas. So tapas means heat. And they say diamonds don't come from just nothing. Diamonds come from pressure. And so what tapas means is the voluntary acceptance of suffering, generally for the purpose of achieving something. Like you were mentioning siddhis. So siddhis take a lot of tapasya or tapas to actually obtain. Or siddhis in anything. What siddhi also can mean is freedom. Like, do you have the freedom to sing like a songbird? Do you have the freedom to play any instrument, or the freedom to, like, when the Olympics, they had that gymnast to like flip around 20 times after you jump off the whatever, or the freedom to do like an iron cross? We don't have the freedom to do that. But if we, those athletes and those musicians and those people that take the discipline and time and they enter into that fire voluntarily, suffering, then they'll get that freedom, that siddhi, to do whatever that thing is that they're trying to do. Like you were talking about government, like the price of actually having a republic is that its constituents must be vigilant. If they're not, like, it's like the price of freedom is alert vigilance. If they're not, then the snake oil salesmen and the oligarchies and all this stuff can come in and spoil the soup.
That's the root cause of our problem today, actually.
Yeah, it's that if people had more discipline, then it's better. I mean, individually and collectively. You said you can't get oil from seeds without pressing them. Even if you get in a good hand in life, so to speak, you have a bunch of seeds. You're not going to get oil without, you can't avoid the hard work. Another good saying, a plane is never going to fly. It's built to fly. It can fly, but it's never going to fly unless it's going fast enough. So that kind of discipline is necessary.
I think we got 1 minute left.
I'm only like halfway through. Okay, we're going to go through this really quick. Another thing of Dharma is characteristic, or it's the quality that is inextricable from the object. So if we look at water, the quality that's inextricable from water is liquidity or wetness. If it's not liquid, if it's not wet, then it's water. Maybe it's ice, maybe it's steam, but like there's certain characteristics. If you take it away, it's not water. Sugar, sweetness. Knife, cutting. If it, yeah, sharpness. If it's not sharp, it may be a dull knife. And then, but what is the dharma or the inextricable character that upholds and supports a person? You can choose. Yeah, you can choose whatever you want.
Love and service.
But I'll put to you that everyone is serving something. We can choose what and how we serve, but everyone is serving something. You know, if whether the person is serving themselves, if they're serving the family, if they're serving the community, if they're serving their nation, if they're internationally doing service, they're always doing service. Even a king has to serve his family, has to serve his constituents, at least has to serve his mind and his senses. And so anything like this we can take and we can analyze. And what is the inextricable thing? Like a pharmaceutical book will have all the different recipes and ratios and tastes and reactions of what happens with each chemical. So like that's the defining characteristic. So our defining characteristic is service. And like I was talking, we want to know what is that defining characteristic of service that never changes. Sometimes they say Dharma means religion. And so there's different religions, like atheism is practically a religion or on the same level, and atheists can meet a strong talking, fanatic Muslim and they can be convinced, oh, okay, actually this is what, and then the Muslim maybe meets a Hindu and then they convert and they become, they start, worshiping Hanuman. And then some Christian talks to them and they say, maybe this is right. And so on and so forth. People can change the religion. So that's not really that thing of really what the inextricable quality is. That's not related to it. But like we said, service is that thing. So either out of love or out of a sense of superiority, we have to serve something. And so what I say to you is that we should follow in the footsteps of the wonderful different saints, and that we should try to dedicate whatever portion we can of service to God. And that's like the ultimate purity is understanding that your body is a temple. The ultimate discipline is becoming a disciple to these pure devotees. The ultimate truth is that we're not our bodies and that these things are all false and going to go away at one point, and that our eternal relation with God that's what we're neglecting. And ultimately relating with others is connecting them to God and developing that love of God ourselves, that relation with God. And so that's what the whole point of this Krishna consciousness movement is to develop these things. That's what Dharma is. And I kind of went through that a little quicker, but any comments? Reflections?
You hit something on the head when you said service. It's crazy that, it came back to this. I was running an operation, and I had my team, they said, how could we be better at what we do? I said, a leader always looks to serve.
Yeah, that's a really...
Find a way of how you can be a service to people. Because that's how you learn yourself and you learn them.
You generally find when they study groups and successful groups that the leader, and it could be anything, it could be a soccer team, a band, a group of monkeys, like it doesn't matter. The team that does the best, the person who's leading that is never the one that usually is the best, or doesn't have to be the one that's the best or the strongest or whatever it is. It's the one that can actually spread and make the most people happy in that group. That's what they do good. The leader that helps others be in their position, not just the one that I'm the best person and just give me the ball and let me score, but the one that can actually do it around. So yeah, service in that domain is definitely better than not.
15 minutes past, 20 minutes past time.
Okay, gee whiz, I don't know what to say. Om Tat Sat. And Nityananda Chandra will tell us about the next part of the evening.
So thank you all very much. We'll have maybe a 1 minute kirtan as the crew brings out prasadam. We'll bring out a nice, delicious vegetarian dinner. It's all cooked with love and devotion as an act of dharmic service, aka seva.